right, happy cow. Hi, my name is Ken Spector with HappyCow, and I'm here today with Dr. Alan Goldhamer, and he is the director of True North Health Center, as well as the author of a book, and it is called The Pleasure Trap. Hello, Alan. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Or Dr. Goldhamer, if you could tell me a little bit about True North Health Center, what do you do?
Well, True North Health Center is an integrative medical facility. We have doctors of medicine and chiropractic and osteopathy, and we specialize in medically supervised water-only fasting and in the use of a vegan diet and helping people that have illnesses get well.
Okay. Let's just say I wanted to clear out like, heavy metals or just, I've been a long time vegan. If I were to want to fast, could I just go ahead and drink water for 5 days or drink juice for 5 days and not even think about it? Or how does that work?
Well, when it comes to healthy eating, everybody should do that every day, and the body tries to eliminate things faster than you accumulate them. When it comes to water fasting, we actually recommend that be done in a more controlled setting, that you have a proper exam and that you're in an environment that'll be supportive for that. It can be a rather intense experience. Even in people that think they're healthy, sometimes when you go on a fast, you find out there's actually a little bit more going on than what you might have thought.
Right. What are some of the symptoms that might happen if I were to go on a water fast?
Well, first thing that would probably happen is your mouth may coat up and taste like something crawled in there and died. You may have some low back pain, irritability. Sometimes people get skin rashes, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, all kinds of interesting detoxification symptoms. Eventually those things clear, and you can get on to sometimes other symptoms that are rather interesting. But eventually the body reduces its overall total load, people start feeling better, and then it gets less interesting and we break it and go back to healthy eating.
As far as, I think it was you who had mentioned inflammation is diet-based. So someone, let's say, with psoriasis, would fasting help all people with psoriasis? Are there some people that cannot get rid of psoriasis no matter what they try without medication?
Most people that have inflammatory skin conditions, including psoriasis, will notice improvement. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it can be very difficult and take a long time, but most people, if they persist with healthful living, will find that these conditions come under better and better control, hopefully without the reliance on the medications.
Right. So there is a genetic component, but it's exacerbated by the foods that we choose to eat.
There's probably a genetic component in almost all illnesses, but it's the diet and lifestyle factors that determine whether those predispositions manifest. It's interesting, in conditions like psoriasis, sometimes people notice if they have kidney disease, for example, and they're on dialysis machines, they may notice psoriasis start to clear, because it may be that there's active metabolic products that are, filtered, that reduce their symptoms. Not that I would suggest people develop serious kidney disease as a treatment for psoriasis, but it is interesting to note that a lot of times you'll get improvement in these conditions from things you wouldn't normally expect.
A juice fast versus a water fast.
Well, juice fast is really just modified feeding. You still have the normal physiology associated with eating. A water fast is a unique biological adaptation which is completely different than really any other state that we're in. And it's only humans and a few other animals that actually are adapted to water fasting. We have the ability to change the fuels in our brain from burning ketones, a byproduct of fat metabolism, to burning to ketones rather than the normal fuel glucose. Most animals continue to burn glucose, which limits their ability to fast. We're rather special in that regard.
So as a vegan, I guess my guilty pleasure is the fact that I do eat salt, oil, and sugar, plenty of it. And I've tried to stop, and there are the withdrawal symptoms. I feel hungry, I feel irritable when I don't have my fix.
Well, these are chemicals that we put in the food, and you do become addicted to them just like you would other chemicals. And so withdrawal from these substances is difficult, and that's sometimes where fasting can be very helpful. Whether you're quitting smoking, using caffeine, alcohol, cocaine, or salts, oils, and sugars. Sometimes a fast, it acts like rebooting a hard drive in a computer. You go on the fast, it resets the mechanisms, good foods start to taste good, and then it makes it somewhat easier to resist the addictions that you have to these artificial chemicals that are ultimately going to compromise your health.
So if I were to stop adding salt, oil, or stop eating salt, oil, and sugar today, about how long would it take for someone like myself to stop feeling this craving for them?
We know that the cravings go away relatively in shorter time than the desires. So, for example, salt, it takes the average person about 30 days to neuroadapt to low-salt diet. So after about a month of eating a low-salt, vegan, S.O.S. free diet, you'd find that you can actually taste the natural sodium in foods, and the conventional foods would actually be a little bit too much. With fat, it can take sometimes as much as 3 months to neuroadapt to a low-fat diet and get the satiation from plant-based foods. So it can be a problem in terms of duration. However, with fasting, that process happens often much quicker.
Now, you're a doctor, and I've always heard that doctors aren't given much or if any nutrition training. I went into the hospital cafeteria this morning, and some of the things that I saw included, I believe it was fried fish or fried chicken. This was for breakfast. I saw eggs, sausage, scrambled eggs and sausage, and the salad bar area, which said salad bar, had Danishes and cottage cheese and a little bit of fruit.
So what's going on? Typical hospital fare. I guess that we probably won't be seeing this hospital listed on HappyCow in terms of a recommended site.
Not even close.
Yeah. The fact is that nutrition is not a big emphasis in conventional medicine. In fact, it's interesting. If you go to a conventional physician today with a condition, say, like high blood pressure or diabetes or autoimmune disease, the one promise they'll make you is that if you follow their advice, you'll never get well. You'll be sick the rest of your life, and, that's it. And they'll also tell you that diet may not have much to do with your condition. However, if you're willing to adopt dangerous and radical interventions like eat good, exercise, perhaps get enough rest, these are conditions that the body can actually reverse, and you can learn to live without all those problems and the pills and potions that go along with them.
Yeah. Now, let's just say you were to see the typical vegan. Let's say like myself. What are some things that you would talk to me about initially?
Well, I'd say that, being a vegan is an important issue. That is, avoiding meat, fish, fowl, eggs, and dairy products. And being a vegan,
You say that pretty quickly. Can you slow down on that?
Well, no, it's important to say it quickly, because then when you explain what you're giving up, it doesn't seem like you're giving up so much.
Right. Good idea.
But so giving up the animal foods is an important first step. And being a vegan may actually because of the moral, ethical, and spiritual benefits, may actually help you get into heaven. But it's not going to delay how quickly you get there, unless you also adopt a health-promoting diet. And a lot of vegans, because they're vegans for moral, ethical, and spiritual reasons, they forget the health aspects, which means not only should you avoid animal foods, but you should also eliminate sugar, oils, and salts. You should eliminate the chemicals that are actually going to compromise your health, even as a vegan. So what I would advise vegans to do is first, be grateful that you've learned about the importance of being a vegan, but then I'll take the next step and eliminate the chemicals that are added to your food, the sugars, oils, and salts.
Why is olive oil so bad for us? Why is sugar so bad for us? And why is salt so bad for us?
Well, the use of these artificially concentrated substances stimulates the dopamine cascade in our brain. It makes us feel good, but ultimately compromises our health. It's why people are fat, sick, and miserable. And that's why you'll see, even though somebody might be a vegan, doesn't ensure that they're going to have optimum health. Because, for example, soda pop, potato chips, these all may be vegan, but doesn't necessarily mean they're healthy.
Excellent. Now, what would you recommend in terms of someone like myself in terms of whether I should be water fasting or not?
Well, I think the first thing I would suggest is that you let us take a look at your medical history by completing the registration forms on our website, and then take advantage of our free phone consult so we can kind of go over that with you and make some recommendations about whether or not fasting might be an appropriate intervention for you.
Okay, and what is your website, and how can someone reach you?
Oh, they can go to our website at truenorthhealth.com, or they can call us at 707-586-5555.
Okay, terrific. Thank you very much. This is Dr. Alan Goldhamer. I really appreciate your time, and there's some great tips. Appreciate it. I'm Ken from HappyCow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. The Healthy Eating and Living Guide. HappyCow.